Okay, everyone. So in this next lesson, let's go and target the section tables and apply some media queries to our table here. So what I would want to do here now is let me just go and again, I'll be doing the same thing that I did in some of the other sections here. And instead of me placing media queries separately based from their class selector or element selector, I will be placing all of the media queries here for section tables. So at least you'll have an idea that this is also something that you can do. And again, I'm going to use this as a way for me to easily be able to browse through. And when I'm looking for our our code that is related to media queries, I can easily go through it through the small view here on Visual Studio Code. So let's go and let's get our media query here, then place that here. And let's go and target the table element, the TD element. So you would see I'm selecting two element selector. I'm just adding a comma here so that I can go and select these two elements. And then I'm going to add padding 0 and font size. I would want to reduce it to 12 pixels. Let's just see how that will look. Okay, so you would see now that it's fit now on our screen. It fits the screen and it's centered. Let's see if we can also apply some media query to our T-head here. So you would see here that I'm going to separate that specifically here. I want, as long as you placed the code block for each of the selectors here inside of this media query, you would see that this will be implementing the changes that you want in your layout. Okay, so here you would see that I specified only one selector with a code block that will be changing the layout of this specific element that is targeted using the about image pick here, the class selector that we have here. But here you would see that I am using multiple code blocks inside of the media query. Okay, so we have here the table element, the TD element selector, and the T-head element selector. So this is one way of writing your media queries. I really do prefer this other method here from where for each of the selectors. Then after the selector, I would be applying the media query because I just think it's more easier for me. For my personal preference, it's a lot easier for me to identify what are the media queries that I applied for a specific element. And here, but you can also do this just to take note of it. So let's go and change font size to 16 pixels. Let's see how that will look. And there you go. You will see now that we have 16 pixels for our original stories. Or we can actually go and separate this and target the TD here. And there we go. So I'm hoping you're getting the idea here, everyone, on how you can actually go and specifically target specific elements using their selectors. May it be a class selector, or let's go and target a class selector here. We have the T heading 2. So let's go and target this. And then apply a font size of 13 pixels and a padding of 4 pixels. Now let's try to go and refresh this. And there we go. So we now have this table inside our smallest, in my case, in my browser, this is the smallest size of the screen once I resize the browser. So you will see now that it's a little bit much better than the previous layout that we had before the media query. So that will be all for the table section, and I'm hoping you got the idea here on the process on how you can also implement the media query in this manner instead of just selecting a single or applying a single media query to an element that you're targeting and apply the layout that you would want for that element at a certain breakpoint. We can also implement, we maximize the use of a single media query declaration here. So that will be here. We have the opening parentheses and closing one, and then we insert inside of that the selectors. Here we have the element selector table td, t-head, and the class selector t-heading. And we applied the font size 12 pixels, 16 pixels, and for the t-heading, we have the 13 pixels, padding 4 pixels. Once the screen is resized, uh, based from the media feature or the property max width here with a value of 600 pixels and below. So once the screen is below 600 pixels, the layout will be changed to the layout that we are seeing here now on our browser. So that will be all for this lesson. Thank you very much and see you on our next lessons.